Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another Designer's Desk of Brickmania TV. It's Lando here, joined with Cody and his all-new P-40 Warhawk? P-40N Warhawk.
Yeah, N for new.
For new.
Yeah.
Very cool. A little bit of history.
Yeah, so it's the most, I would say probably the most iconic airplane next to the Mustang or the Thunderbolt. Just got the shark mouth. Everybody knows
Yeah,
the P-40 has the shark mouth. So, yeah, it was developed in 1939. Well, it was produced from 1939 to 1944. And pretty much every country, every allied country had it. There's like 28 countries that had the P-40.
Wow.
And it was the third most produced aircraft by the United States, behind the P-51 and the P-47. And it's just a tough airplane. It's, I guess I would say it's really adequate.
Really aggressively adequate?
Adequate. It's an adequate airplane. Yeah, obviously they kept making more airplanes to fill its shoes a little bit better, like the P-40, or the P-51 and the P-47. And it went through a lot of changes over its lifetime. It originally had the intake under the nose, under the engine, shifted back a little bit more. It almost looked more elegant in its early stages, as opposed to the newest version, the N version that we have here. And it had machine guns on top of the engine.
Sure.
And then 2 in the wings, and now it has all 650 calibers in the wings.
So what was the reasoning behind the updates?
It's just easier manufacturing, better performance.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's usually why you make changes to a design, is to get better performance out of it, whether that be firepower, speed, range, horsepower, all that jazz.
Cool, cool. So obviously you mentioned that shark mouth. What's cool about this kit, there's also some additions on the other side. So obviously we give you enough stickers to do either side, but there's also some additional artwork that Slam came up with.
Yep. So we have the iconic shark mouth on the. Obviously, there's enough stickers to do both sides.
There's only one. Oh, you can do.
You have to do either or.
We're showing either one.
Yeah, there's the iconic shark mouth, and there's an additional nose color change you can do. You can have a red nose build, so there are parts included in the kit. You can change the nose color.
Oh, nice.
And that way it makes more sense with the Burma Banshees skull on the side.
I'm getting handed here from off screen. So this is the Burma Banjee skull.
And also,
there might be additional artwork for something else.
The skin over that skull.
I had nothing to do with that. There may or may not be a third undocumented nose art.
No, there definitely is a third option.
Okay, we'll leave that to. Yeah, you'll just have to buy it and find out. So,
very cool.
I think, I mean, obviously the shark mouth is it's just such a classic. That's one of my favorites. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there are sticker options in the kit. Also, yeah, I guess just going into the build, I have a new exhaust system that I came up with.
Oh yeah.
They just struck me as much more flat and fanned out.
So you can get it's a nice technique you used on there.
Yeah, the exhaust, it just was large and flat, so I took advantage of that. Came up with a new design, printed the frontmost exhaust.
A little bit
just
of
a tile
printing
printed on there, just to illustrate how it's coming out of the engine. And also I have a wing dihedral that I've been battling with for years, trying to get it to work in a kit of this size. Single engine fighters, it's hard to do much different with wings, but always trying to innovate, and finally got a strong way of doing it.
Yeah.
There's always ways to do it, but...
Can I pick it up? Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe.
Nice.
So there's always ways to do it, and I just avoided doing it because I want to have it strong and playable and easier to build. So there's not a lot of guesswork, and there is no guesswork in this. It's a fixed position, and it's strong, as you can see.
Sturdy.
You just pick it up by the wing.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from that, retractable landing gear.
Yeah.
So now I updated the landing gear a little bit, so you don't have to pull the axle out to spin the wheel back. You can just rotate it on the joint. Less work involved there, and then the tail wheel retracts as well.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clean.
That's cool seeing a
Really clean.
progression of your models with kind of like the internal techniques improving upon just the overall look and sturdiness at the same time. So, yeah, it's an ongoing refinement. So it's cool to see.
Ever changing. Yeah, I'm always trying to innovate. trying to update.
That's the fun part about it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And when you finally get it to work, it's just awesome.
Awesome.
So finally got it to work, and we'll see what else I can incorporate in the future.
Yeah.
But every dihedral on an airplane is a little bit different. There's always some, but typically you just keep it flat.
Yeah.
Especially like the Mustang, there's hardly anything going on.
Sure.
But this was pretty aggressive in the blueprints, and it's not too far off. Also, you can you got a cool minifig in there.
Yeah, let's go over that.
He's our classic World War II Army pilot.
So you have to take the cockpit off a little bit to. You almost have to build them in there, but it's a pretty easy connection there with the plates on the side.
Really easy. So you can just disconnect the whole thing, and then
Giving away all your secrets.
that's okay.
Yeah. A simple pilot minifigure. You got a helmet for that?
I do. So there is also a detailed cockpit.
Yeah, let me
a
show
little
the cockpit first. Yeah. Get the nice. Is there some sand green in there? In the back seat rest kind of thing?
But he's got a headrest, he's got the joystick, and the printed gauges tile. Classic printed gauges tile. So it's nice when you can incorporate some cockpit details. You can't always just due to cramming a minifig in there and having everything else look okay. But once in a while you're able to do so.
Right on. Speaking of minifigures, we have the minifigure out right here. Another simple but classic minifigure artwork here. Front and back torso printing on that. I really like these pilot uniforms, kind of spiffy looking.
Yeah.
Got the tie going on. The leather jacket, get the parachute harness, and life preserver underneath of that. So
Classic Army pilot.
yeah. All right, cool. Want to build them back in there or leave them separate? Let's leave them separate.
Leave them separate.
Okay, so you're attaching the side panels, getting everything lined up just right. It's attention to detail, Cody, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that! Wow.
Spinning propeller.
Wow.
What an incredible feature.
That's the next level right there.
It is next level. I think that's all I got to say about the airplane.
Very cool. Well, that is the all-new P-40N Warhawk. Oh wow, Cody, I've really been looking forward to this.
I'll bet you have.